Okay, this is going to be a quick video on the differences between the Sig Sauer P238 380. This particular one is the SAS edition with the custom trigger I put on there, and the new Sig Sauer P938 9mm. I believe this is the Equinox version. It does come with the 7-round extended mag, where this one here, I had to purchase the extended mag separate. So this one came with the extended mag and the standard mag, so I had the 6 and the 7-round. As far as differences, they are very much alike. Both of them are empty. I want to see how quick I can do a video here on this while talking about a few things. The guns are identical as far as takedown actions. They follow a similar Browning 1911 way of breaking down. Not really too hard. Be careful not to raise the safety up too high. Unless you have your finger over it, that safety pin will pop out, the spring will pop out on you as well. Basic cleaning, get your guide rod, your guide spring, your slide, night sights, your barrel, which I did polish up to make it look a little cleaner on the SAS version anyway, kind of matches the trigger. And I can do a deeper breakdown later as far as removing the mag release, removing the safety, and what have you. Let's say if you want to order a standard or an ambidextrous safety, or in my case, I know the gun's new, but as soon as Sig gives me the option to order a standard safety, I will be doing that. And that's only because with my grip, I have a tendency to find that this safety hits my knuckle when I go to disengage it. I don't care for that too much. I don't want anything interfering, so I'm going to order the single right-handed safety when they make it available. Some of the problems I've had with this, and the reason it's going back, is if you look real close here, here's one of the more recent problems I've discovered. Let's see if we can get the focus a little better. See how the spring's actually popping out there? That shouldn't be that way. That should always be flush against the gun. It only takes a couple of times for it to do that, and it starts coming out of its action again, which of course starts to recess over here below flush, and that really shouldn't be. It should stick out a little bit, and there it goes. It's gone again, and there it is. It's back. What happens is, if that's actually stuck out like that, especially when an empty mag is loaded into it, it pops out even further. And then, trying to take it down, it doesn't want to go. And I don't want to force it too much, because you shouldn't have to force that. But it has a tendency to pop out a lot, quite a good distance actually, and stick. If you drop the mag, you can't even push it in where it belongs. Push it in where it belongs, then the takedown action works very well. Not quite sure why it's doing that. Some of my other issues I've identified with and have noticed is on the range, mostly. And as far as being on the range, the takedown of the 938, by the way, is the same way. The spring, much stronger. Be much more careful when releasing it. The guide rod does have a little recess there for the spring to sit in. The manual does say there's a difference on which way the spring goes. I don't see a difference visibly, but I will, keep that together for that reason. And the barrel, well, here's my barrel. Here's the problem with the barrel. I don't know. Every other gun in this model, or like this model, has really been easy. Barrel comes right out, no problem. This one has a tendency to stick. There it goes. So I have a feeling the barrel also may need to be shaved. You can see some scraping starting here on the side, on both sides actually. I don't think it was QA checked very well. Even getting it back in, it sticks right about here. Completely locks up. I've had it completely locked up in battery before while I was shooting, which it really shouldn't do. As a matter of fact, it's just locked up there. There it goes. And I have a feeling, the way the barrel's been locking up on me, that this is a large part of some of the issues I've been having with the gun. I've been having failures to feed. I've been having stovepipes. I've been having failures to eject. I have over 300 rounds ran through it. I've given it more than enough chances. I've tried 2 different kinds of oils. My preferred oil, more of a synthetic, and I've also tried the grease that comes with the gun that Sig Sauer actually recommends. And in all cases, it hasn't made a difference. This is dirty right now. I ran 150 through it today just to see if it would clear itself up before I had to go shipping it off, because I really don't want to ship my gun off, but I have no choice at this point. It's either, you know, fix it or take it back or give me credit and I'll get something different. I don't know. I'm hoping they can fix it. It's not like I don't like the gun. I do like the gun. The grips are going to be the first thing changed for me. I prefer something a little bit more, has a little bit more width to it. I know the SAS edition has custom wood grips, and they are more rounded and they are a little thicker because I've measured them. I've taken the grips off both guns and measured them. The guns themselves, though, are, like I said, almost identical. In fact, I've had both the guns stripped down, and I can tell you in a lot of ways that there's a slight difference in the frame as far as the length and the width here, of course, because 9mm is a little longer, so your mags are going to be a little wider as well. But I can tell you for a fact the mag releases are identical, the screws are identical, the hammer pin, I believe, maybe a little longer. I haven't tried to swap it out. This is an ambidextrous hammer pin, so it actually has a lever on the little latch in there, so the other safety on this side has somewhere to grab onto and release from. You see the little round circle there. The hammers, though, are absolutely identical. There's no difference between those hammers at all. The mainspring housings, I haven't taken them both off to put them side by side, but visually they look identical. The height of the gun in the rear, all the way up to the hammer, looks about the same. So I would actually venture to say that the sear spring is most likely the same too. And even looking down side of it, the sear itself, the catch, looks the same. The only difference I do see for sure is this piece here, which is your firing pin safety release. The point of this is that when the trigger, I don't want to dry fire my hammer here, so when the trigger is pulled, this is released, disengaging the firing pin safety, which is on both models, and your firing pin safety is right up here. And once the pressure is released off of that, that allows the pin, when actually strike, to protrude the other side, hitting the primer, causing the ignition, and firing the ammunition. So it seems to be a thicker, heavier piece of metal than what's on the 238. My guess is that was done intentionally because there is a lot more power and a lot more recoil on the 9mm versus the 380. Some of the parts are, I would say some of the parts are interchangeable. Definitely not the guide rod or the spring or the barrel or the slide for that fact. But your takedowns, I've measured them. They come out identical as far as length and dimensions. And there's absolutely no difference that I can find between these guys. Let me see here. There you go. It's a good shot. It's hard to do this on a camera. The takedown springs, which this is the one I seem to be having an issue with. That may also be locking my slide and causing some of my failure to ejects. Between that and the tight fit of the barrel on the slide. The triggers. I've looked these over extensively. Of course, I don't want to do anything with my current trigger. Nothing on the new 938 because I want it to function the way I intended to see it function when I purchased it. So until Sig finished just doing their adjustments and doing the work to it, I'm not going to do any custom work to it myself. I don't want to chance anything to avoid the warranty. This one, I've had this for a while, a whole month and a half. I've ran 300, 400, 500 rounds through it, and I've never had an issue. It's ran flawless. I have 100% confidence in this one. I had no problem installing a custom trigger on there myself and lightening the hammer spring a little bit, just to take about a pound, maybe a pound and a half off the weight of the trigger as well. And, you know, did some polishing on the sear release and the hammer. Just really smoothed it out. Makes it feel so much better. But I'd like to do that to this, but first I want a gun that actually works for what I paid for. Some of the other annoyances, I wouldn't call this one an issue, this is more of an annoyance, is when you have a fully loaded mag. Of course, you want to have it in a P1 position, cocked and loaded. So you drop your full mag in there, you rack it, you chamber it around, you pull the mag out, and as you do that, that top bullet has a tendency to slide and dislodge. So you have to reload that bullet plus the one that you replaced, the one you just chambered, and then slide it back in. It seems to be getting caught on something on the inside. It actually shows there's a little brass line in there. I don't know if you can see that, where the bullets have been dragging every time I put a new clip in there. There's a good picture of it. I've cleaned it twice and it just keeps doing it. The gun is only 5 days old and it's already gone back because I can't stand right now the failure to feed, the failure to extract, and all the shooting issues I've been having with it. I even did some videos of it, but it wasn't the best. The iPhone kept bouncing around every time I pulled the trigger, so I won't be posting them on YouTube. But hopefully when I get it back and it's running better, maybe I can do some better videos at that point of the gun and the shooting. I have not experienced the low shooting as some other people have. I've personally experienced the shooting being more a little bit to the left, at about 7 yards, and if you go out to about 50 feet, it has a tendency to shoot low at that point. But you're talking 50 feet. This is a compact gun. This is something that's meant and designed to be used, if ever needed to be, at close range. This is a self-defense concealed weapon. So at 50 feet, just the fact that it was still hitting the paper was impressive. I know personally the 238 I do really well even at 50 feet with. I have no problems with this one at all, and I hope once all the issues are worked out of this one, I'm going to get the same kind of accuracy and the same kind of results from it as well. Well, that's my quick view. I guess I should show putting it back together. I can do another video at another time if you guys want. Just let me know where I actually take them down a lot further. That's up, there we go, jamming, there we go. That would be up to you. Leave some comments below at the section, and let me know if you want to see more information on the gun and as far as taking it apart. even deeper than what I've already done for your basic maintenance and cleaning, of course. I will say that the recoil spring on the 938 is a lot stronger, of course, because it needs to absorb a lot more recoil shooting the 9mm load. You always want to make sure you drop that just enough to get your slide back on there. You don't want to drop it too far. And I'll do another follow-up video once I get the gun back from Sig. They say it's about a 2-week turnaround right now. Hopefully that's all it will be, because I really want to get out there and practice with this one more, shoot it more, and hopefully be just as accurate as I am with this or my full-size 9. This one's just so much easier to put back together. And when I do a deeper video of taking it apart even further, I can also go into function checking the guns, so you know everything still works. Especially that firing pin safety. You want to make sure that always is operational, because they did remove the beaver tail safety off of these, even though they are based off the Browning 1911 design. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments.